Police Minister Bheki Cele and Gauteng Premier David Makhura are visiting the home of slain Tshwane Ward 22 councillor Tshepo Motaung. Motaung was shot and killed last week Friday while he was driving home. Well, for more on this story, we cross to my colleague Patricia Visagie, who's standing by. Thank you very much, Patricia, for joining us. Just tell us what the latest is where you are.
Well, good afternoon and welcome back. Of course, the Police Minister Bheki Cele and the Gauteng Premier just concluded their address to the media, just sharing, how they feel about the situation and also giving their commitment that they will get to the bottom of this, and again expressing their concern and shock. Of course, the Premier, he reiterating it that these are sensitive times, in particular in areas where there is a lot of projects that are being rolled out, saying that it is not just political, but it is also, I think, a turf for power. And we can put it like some of the people in the areas are also fighting for tenders, if you had to put it straight. So he says it's a very complex matter. It is not just about the ANC nomination list, as one would perhaps presume, but it's much deeper than that. The police minister saying that this is not about the ANC, it is not about politics, but it is about the men and women in blue who will commit themselves to getting to the bottom of a crime that has been committed. The police minister saying that what concerns him most is the fact that the culture that has seemed to have dominated KwaZulu-Natal over the years, the culture of hits and of course perhaps political killings, that has now also engulfed the capital city, because this is not the only killing that has happened in the recent months that might be linked to a political dispute. Several ward councillors have been gunned down in Tshwane over the recent months, leading to, of course, the local elections that will take place in the next couple of weeks. But both leaders saying that it's deeper than just, political hopefuls that are fighting for political power. It is also about projects. It is also about people who do not want to exercise democratic processes in the country to be elected, but rather they want to use the barrel of the gun to take over power. The police minister saying this will not be tolerated. He says that they've already done a lot of spade work. Intelligence is on the ground and they already know who the culprits are. And he says that he's confident that in the next couple of days arrests will be made and this will not be tolerated. But I think the focus really lies on the family that has to deal with this loss, that has to deal with this pain. And I'm turning to the brother of the deceased, Tshepo Motaung. Mr. Motaung, of course, how do you receive the messages, the commitment that you receive from these leaders today?
I guess, as they said, they are busy with the case, and very soon the perpetrators will be arrested. I'm happy, but I'll be more happier if they're behind bars and they are locked away for life. Then I think that's where my heart will be at ease.
How is your family coping with this loss?
The family is not coping very well because Tshepo was a joyful person, a joker. Most of the times when there are gatherings, we knew that when he's around, there will be joy, happiness will be there. So currently, imagining all those things, you can't. It's bad. You can't imagine being without them. Yeah. So bad.
Are you concerned for your safety as a family, that you might be targeted as well?
As a family, we are concerned about our safety, as we don't know exactly the motive. What was it? And then, are the kids safe? Are we safe? Or are they targeting with their own family? Or what? So those are the questions we still don't have answers. That's why I'm saying if they could catch those perpetrators and catch the sender or the organizer who's organized everything, the plot, and then we'll have all those answers. Then at least the family will be fine then. We'll have answers for everything.
Right. Thank you so much. The brother of course, the slain ward councillor here. His name is Tshepo Motaung, the brother to, of course, Tshepo Motaung, that was gunned down just a few days ago. And as I said here, a lot of demands for answers from community members, ANC members, SANCO members, and of course, the men and women in blue saying they remain committed to get to the bottom of this and giving the family assurance that they will get swift justice. It's back to you in studio.
So, Patricia, as the political head of the police, what was Bheki Cele saying?
Just repeat the question.
Yes, as the political head of the police, what was Bheki Cele saying?
The minister said in short, basically, that what concerns them is that the culture that is predominantly known in KZN, that of political killings in particular, towards elections, each period, each season. He says what's concerning, it seems like that culture is also now dominating Tshwane because there's been a lot of violence, the spate of violence in the capital city that is linked to political battles, linked to political, constituencies and factions, in particular in the ANC. He says that has really gotten such a stronghold in the capital city, and that has caused so much tensions. But he says that it's more than just, activists or politicians that are fighting for positions and nomination lists. What they are gathering is that there are organized groups, there are high-profile people that are plotting and that are perhaps paying certain individuals to cause the chaos, to cause the violence, and also have hostile takeovers in certain areas, and of course the acts of intimidation. But at the center of it lies the war for, of course, economic power in the sense of fighting for projects, fighting for municipal tenders, and so forth in the communities. And he says, and the Premier also reiterated that is beyond comrades or political hopefuls that are fighting just for nomination lists. It seems like there are organized groupings, perhaps in the forms of gangsters that want to take over certain turfs where there is a lot of development taking place, where there's a lot of opportunities that are taking place. And the acts of intimidation, where certain people who are elected by communities are not allowed to stand for those leadership positions, and only certain individuals who are obviously linked to certain powerful people are supposed to be on the list. So he says it's a plethora of issues that are at the center of these killings that are taking place. And just to reiterate again, Nompu, this is not the first one. We have seen so many of them over the months that are taking place, people being gunned down, and perhaps not a lot of attention was given to these killings, these hits that are taking place. And hence the police minister and premier is saying that everybody needs to work together, community members, the media, everybody who has information needs to share this information with the police so that they can get to the bottom of what is happening here. The police minister even going as far as saying that some of these people that are organizing some of these turf wars, some of them are even in prison and they are ruling the streets from their prison cells. So it's quite complex, but the police minister again showing confidence, saying that they already know who is doing this and they are actually having a solid and holistic plan to get to the bottom of this and make sure that the perpetrators do pay the strongest of course, punishment in this regard.
Patricia, thank you very much for that update. My colleague there, Patricia Visagie.